everybody, today I'm going to talk about the Chinese government scholarship, how I got here, and how you can potentially come to China to study for free. Now, I came to China in about 2013 of August. I was informed that I had received a Chinese government scholarship. I had about a month to get my visa and get my ticket and fly over to China. Now, what I studied here is civil engineering. It's in Chinese because I'm getting my bachelor's here. When you come to China, you get 1 year of language study. That's going to pale in comparison to what you need to actually study your major. So what you're doing is you're doing a comparison of cost versus challenge. Because the cost is actually free. You're going to get 2,500 renminbi, which is equivalent to about, I don't know, it's just short of $500. It's about maybe 400 and change. So you're going to get that coverage. You're going to get free room. Of course, you're going to have a roommate if you're a bachelor student. The cutoff for bachelor studying in China is 25. After you're 25, you're no longer able to apply. Now the challenge is it's going to be difficult. You're probably going to be the only foreigner in a class of Chinese students. And to be honest, they're going to be under the understanding that you actually tested in. Under the Chinese government, under the Chinese government scholarship, there's no test to come into a Chinese university. You pick one, if that university picks you, you're in. That's why they give you the choice of picking 3. Because there might be one university like Tsinghua, which is #1 in many fields in China. It's the MIT of China. And you have a lot of students who pick that university, and that university might not pick them, so they might not get the scholarship for Tsinghua. But if you pick a lesser known university, well, more than likely you're going to get in, because if you're American, they're going to want to put Americans on their roster because it looks good that you picked their school, and if you can graduate from their school, they're going to do their best to help you. When you get to the university, they're going to open up specialized classes just for foreigners, so you can actually try to keep up with the students who are probably China's top students. Just letting you know. Another challenge about this is Chinese students memorize things that are in their heads. Even back home, you can see professors, math professors, you'll see them whip out a calculator and put in functions on the calculator. They do not do that in China. Everything that you want to study, everything that you want to know, you need to memorize in your head. If you can't do that, you're going to have difficulty. I'm personally having difficulty with that. So that's something that you need to know beforehand. Now, going back to cost, you could go to an American school if you haven't gotten an athletic scholarship, if you haven't gotten an academic scholarship, if hope is enough for you. You're an AB student, you're just excellent. If you haven't gotten a scholarship, with your room, board, tuition, and everything else, you're going to be spending essentially $20,000 a year. That's equivalent to, I don't know, buying a car every year, and not a lot of people have enough money to buy a car. Actually, ask your parents if they can buy a car every year. More than likely they can. Even if they're college educated, they can't buy a car every year. And that's essentially what you're dealing with going to school back home if you don't already have a scholarship. If you have a scholarship, forget about the Chinese government, go to school back home. It's much easier. You can study in English. Now, for those of you who don't, you're like me. You're kind of like, you coasted in high school. You thought that you could still do whatever you wanted to do, and you just have to do just enough to get by. You were 2.9. 2.9, just like you could have done better, but you didn't. So if you're like that 2.9 student like me, I'm recommending the Chinese government scholarship, although it's optional. You will have a hard time getting your degree if you are not both talented in language and math and science if you choose to study an engineering major. The reason why I chose an engineering major is because after I graduate, all I have to do is take a test to essentially get certified for what I'm doing. You know, there's a professional engineer's exam. So like if I'm studying civil engineering, I have to take the professional engineer's exam, pass that, and it wouldn't matter which school I studied at. The fact is whether or not I can pass that test, if you get what I mean. Now for the Chinese government scholarship, the site I want you to check out is en.csc.edu.cn. Now this site is going to give you information about what's covered in the Chinese government scholarship, you know, what they provide, what they don't provide. Of course, you're gonna have to pay for your own visa. If you're American, we have privilege going to China. You're gonna get essentially a visa all the way through your study. You know, laihua.edu.cn. Again, that's laihua.edu.cn. That is the actual site that you apply on. Now, when you make your account, when you apply online, you're going to have to call your regional embassy, your Chinese consulate, or you can apply directly to DC. Now, when I applied in 2013, 30 students got the scholarship, and I'm assuming that's how many applied because there's really not many American students studying here in China. It's not the top spot. Most times I see Americans, they are already under their original university programs, and they're exchange students. You know, most of your classmates are going to be African, they're going to be Arab, they're going to be Indian, they're going to be from some smaller Asian countries that you probably won't see every day back home. You're not going to be seeing the UK, you're not going to be seeing Germany, you're not going to be seeing Australians. Germany you're going to be seeing a lot more, but they do exchange programs, and it's the same case with France. So they're not staying for 4 years through this program, and certainly they're not studying in Chinese. So if you're kind of not prepared for dealing with people of different cultures, I wasn't. Let me privy you to that, because you will. That pretty much covers information about the Chinese government scholarship. If you have more questions, you can comment, you can ask. I'll be glad to answer any of your questions. And you know, I hope you apply if that works for you. As far as my African American viewers, you will get preferential treatment here, especially in the educational arena. Nobody's going to mistreat you. They're only going to be looking at your American nationality, and I can tell you that from going through it. Are you going to get a couple of scowls from random people who don't matter? Yes, we get that everywhere. But overall, there is no impediment to your success here in China. So if you are willing to get out of your comfort zone, if you're willing to try something new, I do welcome you to come to China and study here. Ciao for now. Oh, and it's March 18th, 2016, and it's a Friday here. It's a Friday night. Ciao.